भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ वर्स 48 ते आत्मत्वेऽप्यनुगते तत्तेदन्ते ततस्तयोः आत्मत्वं नैव सम्भाव्यं सम्यक्त्वादेर्यथा तथा. So Vidyaranya is in midst of this Jivatma analysis or Tvampada Vicharaha, Tvampada Vivekaha also you can call, because there is a mixture. He pointed out that this Jivatma consists of three components. First is this Adhishthana Chaitanyam, Adhara Chaitanyam, or Sakshi or Kutastha, either. Second one is this reflecting medium, the body-mind-sense complex. And the third one is a reflecting consciousness, which we call as a Abhasa Chaitanyam, we call it as a Jiva, we call it as a Chidabhasa, etc. So, so all this, all the three things are put together, is an individual. That's a Tvampada Vachyartha. So the direct meaning of you, direct meaning of I, direct meaning of he is this, is a mixture of all the three. And among these things, all these things, one is Satyam and other two are Mithya. You know very well, Kutastha is Satyam and Abhasa Chaitanyam, as well as the reflecting medium, the body-mind-sense complex, they are Mithya. So even though this, the Satyam and Mithya are together, Kutastha Chaitanyam and Chidabhasa are together, reflection and this original consciousness are together, well, one doesn't know that this is a mixture of this Satyam and Mithya, and so we call it as a Adhyasa, right? Even though there is a mixture of Satyam and Mithya, Satyam and Anutam. Please remember the definition of a Bhashyakara, definition of Adhyasa by Bhashyakara in Brahma Sutra. Satyanrute mithuni karanam. I have already told you. Satya and Anutram. Anutram means Mithya. Mithuni karanam, mixing up. So it's in individual, these two things are there together. Kutastha Chaitanyam and this Chidabhasa. Well, they are mixed up together and they cannot be mixed up together. One is a Satyam, other is a Mithya, but they are mixing up together, which we call it as a Adhyasa. And so then thereafter Vidyaranya wanted an appropriate word for Kutastha Chaitanyam. And then he cannot use the word Aham, Tvam, Saha, etc. for this Chidabhasa, because basically, they refer to Abhasa Chaitanyam. Because how can you say Aham, Tvam, etc. refers to Abhasa Chaitanyam, Chidabhasa, etc.? How can you say that? Because they mutually exclude each other. So they exclude each other, and therefore definitely each one is limited. When one excludes the other, definitely each one is limited. And so if it is limited, it cannot be Kutastha Chaitanya. It will be a Chidabhasa only. Because Chidabhasa is a limited. Reflection will be always limited. Limited means what? It is confined only to the reflecting medium. It cannot be outside the reflecting medium. And therefore, Aham, Tvam, all this basically, if Aham includes Tvam, if I exclude you, you exclude he exclude you, he excludes I, well, then each one is limited. And therefore, word aham, tvam, etc., all are indicate Chidabhasa only. And therefore, well, for Kutastha Chaitanyam, we should have another name. And then he finds out basically that word Swayam is an ideal word to apply for this Kutastha or Atma. And well, and then he sees in Swayam two things. So that he's justifying word Swayam for Kutastha, and he sees two basically conditions which fulfills the for using word Swayam for Kutastha or Atma. What is the first condition? First condition is this Swayam can coexist with Aham, Tvam, Saha, Sa, Tad, etc. And therefore, so Aham, Tvam, Sa, etc. indicate Chidabhasa only, and word Swayam can go along with that. Therefore, Swayam must be Kutastha, because which is Adhishthanam for all Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa cannot be there without Chit, right? Any reflection cannot be independent of the original. And therefore, if Swayam pervades in all this with Aham, Tvam, etc., and Aham, Tvam indicating Chidabhasa, then Swayam must be Kutastha only. Kutastha only pervades all Chidabhasa. And therefore, Swayam is a Kutastha which is Adhishthanam for all Chidabhasa. And so, Kutastha Chaitanyam which goes with all Chidabhasa, Aham, Tvam, Sam, etc. At the level of Padartha, at the level of meaning of the word. So, Aham, Tvam, Saha, etc. These are the words, and the meaning of those words are Chidabhasa. Then word Swayam, also let us take the meaning of the word Swayam, and that must be the Kutastha only. And therefore, at the level of a meaning of the word, all the Chidabhasas are pervaded by Kutastha. Then at the level of the at the level of words also, well, Aham, Tvam, Saha, etc., well, indicate, with those words, word Swayam also pervades, and word Swayam goes along with them. Therefore, Swayam must be Kutastha only. And so, Swayam is an ideal word for Kutastha. This is a first condition fulfilled by word Swayam to be a Kutastha in meaning. Now, the second condition, that the word Swayam is never used along with the Atma. And so they never, in terms of words, Swayam and Atma cannot go together. Because Swayam means self. Swayam means self. Atma means self. And therefore, Swayam and Atma in a single sentence cannot be in proximity. They never appear in proximity in the sentence because they are synonyms. And definitely synonyms do not occur in the same sentence. So, Swayam and Atma are synonyms. And so, word Atma means basically refers to Kutastha Chaitanyam in Upanishad. And so, Kutastha Chaitanyam, Swayam and Atma are synonyms. Word Atma refers to Kutastha Chaitanyam. So, word Swayam also must refer to Kutastha Chaitanyam. Swayam and Atma cannot go together. Atma means Kutastha Chaitanyam. And therefore, Swayam refers to Kutastha Chaitanyam. So, Atma is another name for Swayam. Kutastha Chaitanyam is another name for Swayam. Swayam means Kutastha Chaitanya. So these two conditions are there. Swayam, in brief, if I tell you, Swayam goes along with Aham, Tvam, Saha, etc. Aham, Tvam, Saha, etc. in terms of meaning, they are Chidabhasa. Chidabhasas are all pervaded by Kutastha Chaitanyam. Here word Swayam goes along with Aham, Tvam, Sam, etc. Therefore, Swayam must be the Kutastha. Second thing, Swayam and Atma cannot go together. Atma basically in Upanishad, Atma means Kutastha Chaitanyam. And Swayam and Atma cannot go together, and therefore, and Atma means if Kutastha Chaitanyam, definitely then Swayam must be referring to Kutastha Chaitanyam. Swayam and Kutastha Chaitanyam must be identical. Like Atma and Kutastha Chaitanyam are identical, Swayam and Atma are identical, therefore Swayam must be referring to Kutastha Chaitanyam. So this is how two conditions are there for using the word Swayam for Kutastha or Atma. So in verse 48 he says, Swayam also fits it with Atma. Sometimes he has not used word Kutastha, he is telling Atma. Whereas, so Swayam and Atma are identical, or Swayam and Kutastha are identical, whereas Aham, etc., Aham, Tvam, etc., cannot fulfill these two conditions. They are mutually excluding, and therefore definitely they are Chidabhasa only. Swayam means Kuta. So this is how the nomenclature, this is how the name Swayam goes with Kutastha, etc. Now verse number 49. Tattedante swatanyatve tvantahante parasparam pratidvandvitaya loke prasiddhe nasti samshayah. He says there are three pairs of words which are opposite to each other. Pratidvandvi means opposite to each other. So pratidvandvitaya prasiddhe loke. So prasiddhe loke, in the world, in the Vyavahara, in this transaction, worldly transactions, these three pairs are considered opposite to each other. Which three pairs? First pair, tatte dante, tadanta and idanta. Tatta and idanta. Tatta and idanta. Tatta means what? I have already told you. Tat plus ta, tatta. Idam plus ta, idanta. Tat means that, and ta, ness. Thatness and thisness are opposite to each other. Idam means this, idanta, thisness. And therefore, tatta and idanta. But this is tatte dante, he is saying. Yeah, that's a samasa. Tattacha, idantacha, tatte dante, etc. It's akaranta, and then dvivachanam will be a, right? Rama, rame, etc. Anyway, so they are mutually opposite because what is this cannot be referred to as that, and what is that cannot be referred to as this. And therefore, that refers to, that word refers to remoteness. Word this refers to which is in proximity, and therefore definitely thatness and thisness, or word that and this, well, that pair is there, but they are opposite to each other. Other pair which is opposite to each other is what? Tvanta ahanta. So he says tvanta hante means tvanta cha ahanta cha tvanta hante. Prathama vibhakti dvivachanam. It's a samasa, dvandva samasa. So tvanta and ahanta. Tvam plus ta. Tvanta. Tvam means what? You. Ta, ness. You-ness, and ahanta, I-ness. Or you, that's you-ness is better. You-hood, that's not, doesn't look good. So ness and hood you can use. Either way you can use. So ta, but what is this ta? I have already told you it's an abstract. To make a noun, abstract noun, from a noun. Like sweet, right? Sweet and sweetness is there. Sweet and sweetness. So sweetness is a abstract noun. And well, so we say the sugar is sweet. Sugar is sweet. But sugar has sweetness, right? Sugar has sweetness. So that is how. It's in every language. Abstract nouns are there in every language. In English, generally they are referred by putting a suffix called ness or hood. So that is how. In Sanskritam also it is there. So thatness and thisness. The second one is you-ness and I-ness, naturally. And what is I cannot be you. What is you cannot be I. So they are also opposite pairs. And I have already told you this tvantacha, ahantacha, tvantahante is a dvandva samasa, and tvantahante is a prathama vibhakti dvivachanam. So tatte dante and thatness, thisness, you-ness, I-ness, etc. both are examples. And they are examples of what? Examples of opposite pairs. And now our original. I am, for example, and I am using original. Original means in our case. Swatacha, what is that? Tvatte dante, swata anyatve. So swata, selfhood. Swa means self. Swa or swayam, same thing. Swa or swayam. And then ta, ness or hood. So selfhood and anyatve. Anyatve means refers to basically non-self. Swa means self, kutastha chaitanya. And basically anyatva means non-self, other than kutastha chaitanya. Everything other than kutastha chaitanya, everything other than the self, everything other than the atma. Well, entire anatma prapancha is called anyatva. So all I mean, all the things included in Anatma, and that is entire world, in fact, right? Atma and Anatma, naturally opposite pair. So, all the reflecting medium also come under this Anatma. Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Chidabhasa, everything is Anatma. Don't never say Chidabhasa. Swamiji, Chidabhasa means a conscious entity, and therefore it is Atma. Never say Chidabhasa is Anatma. Chidabhasa comes and goes. What comes and goes is not me. What leaves me cannot be Atma. Right? And therefore, me means that self. So Chidabhasa also lives. I, he, you, etc. all are left. All go away. When you go to sleep, there is no I-ness and he-ness and you-ness and it-ness. Nothing will be there. The Swayam will be there. You know very well that I have experienced sleep, etc. But then very I-ness itself has resolved. So understand that. So all the Chidabhasas and all the reflecting mediums, also Anatma Prapancha and entire world, everything is referred by Anyatvam. Anyatvam, otherness, other than the self. Swam means refers to Kutastha Chaitanyam, Swam or Swayam. Here he says Swa, so Swata, selfhood and non-selfhood. So Atma Anatma. That is also opposite pair. So here first person, second person, third person, all are Anatma. But I, he, you all refer to Chidabhasa and so Anatma. And so all the three persons are Anatma. And he wants to show that, well, in this Kutastha Chaitanya, which is referred by the word Swa or the Swayam, well, there is no person at all. And that's how in Sanskritam we have two small, when you want to learn Sanskritam, you have two books which are like a Tattvabodha. If you want to learn Vedanta, you have a Tattvabodha. For learning Sanskritam, you have two books. One is a Dhatu Patha, the list of roots. The other one is a Shabda Manjari. They are called Dhatu Manjari and Shabda Manjari. So Dhatu Manjari means all list of roots. That also you have to learn. Gam means what? To go. Vad means what? To speak. Bhu means what? Sattaya, to be. So all these roots. And what you make out of these roots, right? Gam, from that you make Gacchati, Gacchataha, Gacchanti, Gacchasi, Gacchataha, Gacchata. What are you speaking? This much you know, I know. Gacchami, Gacchavaha, Gacchama. What is it called? From root Gam, what you made these 9 forms, they are called declensions. Declensions. Which, the word, the root Gam declines. I am going to say something profound, please. This fellow, this Swami talks about all the time grammar. I don't talk about all the time grammar. But I have, where it is essential, I have to talk. And therefore, this much you should know. This much you should know. More Sanskritam grammar will come later, not now. So, Gam, Gaccha, from there, what you make all these forms? All first person, second person, third person. All declensions. Yeah. Gacchami, Gacchavaha, Gacchamaha, first person. Gacchasi, Gacchataha, Gachatha, second person. Gacchati, Gacchataha, Gacchanti is third person, And therefore, all declensions, so these declensions are absent in Atma. Means basically free from persons. That's one thing. Because the very karma itself, action itself is not there. Where is the question of the very action of going itself is not there, which is indicated by the root Gam, Gach. That itself is not there. To go is not possible for Atma, for Kutastha, because it is all pervading. Okay, so these declensions are not there. So entire one book is gone. Dhatu Manjari is gone, because indicating all dhatus. Vad, to speak. From that vadati, vadataha, all this. All first person, second person, third person. Absent. Very action is not there. Where is a question of further declension and persons. First person, second person. All absent. And then, one book we have kept it aside now. Dhatu Manjari. Another is a Shabda Manjari. Gam dhatu. Let's take again that. Right? From there, goar. Right? Goar. What is the word in Sanskritam for goar? Well, it is ganta. Very action going itself is not possible. Where is a question of ganta? Ganta means aham ganta, saha ganta, and then tvam ganta. Person also has gone. You are the goer, I am the goer, he is a goer, she is a goer, etc. Gone. All gone. Dhatu Manjari, Shabda Manjari gone. Means all the declensions are gone. All the declensions. But there you have said first person, second person, third person, gachasi, etc. For words, for nouns, what are the declensions? You know very well. I need not have to tell you, right? Gantru is a word, and then you make prathama vibhakti, ganta, gantaro, gantaraha, gantaram, gantaro, gantaraha, etc. You make, these are all declensions. So Atma is free from all declensions, yeah. Then what is the word, if Atma does not decline, what is the word used for the Atma? Avyayaha. That you know very well. I need not have to tell, right? In Bhagavad Gita, several times Bhagavan has used this word for Atma, Avyayaha. Vyaya means a declining. Avyayaha does not decline. In grammar also, Sanskrit grammar, which does not decline. Neither it has a verbal forms, neither it has a nominal forms, right? And that is called Avyayaha. And that's how we have words in Sanskrit grammar which are Avyayaha, indeclinables. And Atma also is indeclinable. So all Dhatu Manjari, Shabda Manjari, everything gone. So in the Sanskritam grammar, the definition of Avyaya is Sadrusham Trishu Lingeshu, Sarvasu cha Vibhaktishu, Vachaneshu cha Sarveshu, Yannavyeti Tadavyayam. The definition of Avyayam in Sanskritam grammar is it does not undergo any change. It doesn't have any lingam. It doesn't have a feminine forms or masculine forms or neuter forms. It is free from gender. That's correct. Atma is free from gender. Does not decline at all. So all the three persons, basically, I, you, all are anatma. Now it is clear. Atma is free from all the persons. All these are anatmas. I, you, etc. They are all Chidabhasa. This much I have to tell to prove that Chidabhasa is anatma. Because you may challenge tomorrow to me. How can you tell? It's a conscious entity. How can you say it is anatma? So that's how I have to bring that grammar. Free from all persons is Atma. That's all. First person, second person, third person, all indicate to that individual, all Chidabhasa. And definitely, I am free from that. So, Anatma and Atma are Paraspara Viruddham, all the bodies and the reflection in the bodies, in the mediums and the entire world, all are indicated by Anyatvam. Anyatvam means other than Atma, other than Kutastha Chaitanya. This other than also should be understood in a proper sense, you know very well, and we are going to talk about it also. Other than, there is nothing other than it, but it appears also. Anyway, so basically, Atma and Anatma are Paraspara Viruddham. Atma is Satyam, Anatma is Mithya. And so this is how, in this manner, Paraspar Dvandvi Taya Prasiddhe Loke. Paraspar Dvandvi. So Dvandvi means, or Pratidvandvi. Pratidvandvi means this opposite. So they are, in the world they are known, well known. I and you, that and this, self and non-self, all these three pairs are mutually opposed to each other. And Nasti Samshaya, with regard to this, I don't have any doubt. Let's go to verse 50. Anyatayah pratidvandvi swayam kutastha ishyatam tvantayah pratiyogyeshah ahamityatmani kalpitah. Anyatayah pratidvandvi swayam. Word swayam is pratidvandvi, is opposed to Anyatayaha, non-self. Swayam, which refers to the self, is pratidvandvi, means is opposed to anyata, means non-self, other than the self. Anyata, Swamiji, anyam means other than. Yeah, okay, other than the self, non-self. So, if you negate all non-self, what is left out? Because you are negating. The self is free from all this first person, second person, third person, and all chidabhasas and all that. And so, well, they are negated, they are mithya, you are saying. So, what is left out? What is left out is Atma. Swayam Atma that is Swayam, that is Atma, which is left out. So, to reveal Kutastha Upanishad, that is how it uses the expression. Sa esha neti neti iti Atma. So, it negates the entire world. Neti, neti, neti. Entire Sthula Prapancha is negated along with the Chidabhasa, because it's a reflecting medium. Entire Sukshma Prapancha is negated along with the Chidabhasa. Entire Karana Prapancha is negated along with the Chidabhasa. Along with the Chidabhasa. Means at individual level, at a samashti level, both. And therefore, basically right now we are focusing on Tvam Pada. Please understand this. We have not talked yet about Ishvara. We are going to negate Ishvara also in order to make Tvam and Tat equation possible. But right now we are discussing Tvam Pada Vichara we are doing. That's how. So basically let's talk about only the three bodies and the reflections in that. They are all negated because they are anatmas. And so all are negated, and what is left out is this Kutastha Chaitanya. So it negates, you can say, even entire world, all the reflecting mediums, all the bodies, etc., all reflected consciousness. And therefore, that is how in Mandukya Karika it has been negated. When they want to discuss about this Turiya, they negated this Nantah Prajnam, the consciousness which is inert, or consciousness which illumines the inner world. With reference to the inner world, the consciousness is called Antah Prajna, called dreamer, Taijasa. Bahish Prajna, consciousness goes out, means consciousness illumines the external world. Consciousness with reference to the external world is called Bahish Prajna, waker. So Bahish Prajna is negated, na Bahish Prajna. Na Antah Prajna. So he is not a waker, he is not a dreamer. And then definitely, na Prajnana Ghanam, Eki Bhutam. Well, all the consciousness, they are not basically scattered. In the waking world, it is all the time scattered. Right? All the time scattered. Different type, in different, all cognitions of the external world, the consciousness is present. So it's as though in all cognitions it is scattered. Well, in deep sleep state, that consciousness has become just mass of consciousness. No scattering. It's a mass of consciousness. Na Prajnana Ghanam refers to deep sleeper, Prajna. So anyway, so basically this all is Chidabhasa. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, all this Chidabhasa, they are all negated. So Vishwa is negated, Taijasa is negated, Prajna is negated. When Vishwa is negated, Waker is negated, Chidabhasa is negated, then reflecting medium also is negated, and therefore bodies are also negated. So subtle bodies, gross body, and therefore by negating the Waker, the reflecting medium and the reflected consciousness both are negated, and that is gross body, and well, subtle body is negated by, and definitely the consciousness reflected in the subtle body also is negated, dreamer is negated, that is, and then by word, Antah Prajnam, etc. And Karana Sharira is negated, that's another reflecting medium, and Karana Sharir, the reflected consciousness in a Karana Shariram, etc., that is Prajna, etc., also is negated. So this is how all are negated. So basically all Chidabhasas are negated. So, well, after negating this, non-self, Chidabhasa, etc., and reflecting medium, that is also non-self. What is left over? That is, myself is left over. So, somebody says, then how can I know myself? Because you say I is negated as a waker. I as a dreamer is negated. I as a deep sleeper is negated. So, I is negated, then who will know the self? So basically, how can I know the self then? Then we say, well, when I goes, you know the self. Very I, the knower principle is negated. Negated means what? Falsified. Okay? Falsified. You understand them as a mithya. You understood I-ness, ahankara, chidabhasa is mithya. Is mithya. Okay, the question is knower principle is negated. Then how will I know the self? If knower itself is not there, can I know the self? Then we say, well, there is no question of knowing the self because the question itself is illogical. Knowing self means retaining the knower. And if the knower is retained and then what is known, that self, is other than you, then where is that kutastha? Where is that kutastha? So very basically retaining knower is retaining chidabhasa. Retaining knower is not negating chidabhasa. Then where is the question of mithyatvam of chidabhasa? So you have to negate the knower and you are not there to know. Then how will I know? Self is self-revealing, and therefore basically, because this question will all the time remain, you are not there to know, then what will happen? What will happen? If the very knower is not there, then who will know the self? Knower should be there. If knower is there all the time, then knower is satyam. Then where is the question of knowing the self? If you are the knower, then where is the question of knowing the self? Please understand this. These questions you will face tonight, today or tomorrow. If you say, I am Brahman. Okay, who knows that you are Brahman? Yeah, I know the Brahman. Then you are the knower. You are the knower of Brahman. Then if you are the knower that remains all the time, then where is the question of that you are Brahman? So knower is a limited entity, chidabhasa. So then, well, what will happen? Basically, if retaining knower is, as I told you, is not negating this chidabhasa, and then you have, basically then that is not correct, then you have to negate the knower, and well, but you are not there to basically know this self. If you negate the knower, then what will happen? Nothing will happen, because the self is left behind. Then how to know that self? There is no need of knowing the self, okay? There is no need of knowing the self. Why? Self is self-revealing. Self is self-revealing, and therefore very knowerhood which is superimposed upon the self is negated. What then? Negated means I-ness, the knowerhood goes away. It's falsified. The pramatrutvam is falsified, and that's how this fellow, somehow he wants to bring in a knower. He feels that a knower should be there in order to know the self, and that self which is known and the knower must be different. If both are limited, then therefore knowerhood has to go. If you are limitless, then knowerhood has to go. The very pramata which goes to the Veda or goes to the teacher is falsified. Pramata cannot falsify himself. Knower cannot falsify himself. Somebody else has to falsify. Okay? So, what is your real nature? Is this kutastha, not knower? That has to be told by external pramana. Because how you are looking, your eyes cannot see you. You need an external means of knowing. That's a mirror. Yeah, mirror is required. Same way here also Shastra plus teacher is required to tell you that you are not knower. You are the very adhishthanam of knower. Please understand this. By analyzing the three states of experiencing and negating them, you are not waker, you are not a dreamer, you are not a deep sleeper. You are the very witness of all the three states, and all these three are mithya. They are mutually exclusive, right? Mutually excluding. Waker is not a dreamer. Dreamer is not a deep sleeper. Deep sleeper, I am in a deep sleep and at the same time I am waking. It's something madness. If you are a waker, you are a waker. You are a dreamer, you are a dreamer. So all three are mutually excluding. All the three are limited. Well, basically, you are the very sakshi to say that all the three are excluding. You are not now a waker, but you are a dreamer. Or you are a waker right now and not a dreamer. To say that a sakshi witness is required. So you are very witness. A pramata, a knower cannot know himself by himself. This who am I business will never work. You have to expose to the pramana. A pramata has to go to the external means of knowledge, and mere shastra cannot help you. A teacher with the shastra, that kind of a bonanza offer will definitely, will help you to say that you are not a knower. Please understand this very well. Knowerhood is mithya. That's just a falsified. But then still he says, I know. No, but it's a false. That's called badhita ahankara. That is called badhitam. Badhitam means it is falsified. Vedanta, knower is not destroyed. Knower is not destroyed. Knower is falsified. Earlier you were feeling that you are individual. You are just a knower. That's your reality. It's not your reality. Knower is standing on the knowledge. That's a reality. In absence of you are a knower, you the knowledge still there. Yeah. So, knower is gone means you are gone, you never feel. That's not your experience. Knower is gone, and so you are also gone. That's not your experience. Knower, in absence of knower, you are there to say that there was no knower in deep sleep state. Yeah. So you are very witness of the knower. That's how the witness, you are the witness, that's a reality because that persists in all the three states. And the knowerhood is just an incidental. It comes and goes. Waker comes and goes. Deep dreamer comes and goes. And therefore what comes and goes is mithya. The knower stands. Waker stands on the witness consciousness. Dreamer stands on witness consciousness. Without consciousness, where is waker? Where is waker? Where is waker? Waker is a non-separate from the sakshi. So, the dreamer is a non-separate from this sakshi, consciousness. And therefore, the entire waking world, which consists of the waker and the object of, the waking world and the very waking cognitions and everything stand on this consciousness, with a witness consciousness. That's your reality. What comes and goes is not you. What leaves behind you and goes is not you, definitely. Because you are, even in absence of that, you are there. That's a reality. That cannot be negated. That witness consciousness is a reality. Okay? And therefore the knowerhood is negated, means knowerhood is falsified. Nantav prajnam, na bahish prajnam, na ubayatav prajnam, na prajnana ghanam. That's a falsification of a waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, etc. And therefore Mandukya Bhashyam, Bhashyakara makes a statement, this Mahavakya does not help to know the self, but helps in negating the knower. Shabdena pramatrutva nivrittihi, Bhashyakara says. Shabdena, Shabda pramanena. By the words of the Shastra, that is Mahavakya, etc., pramatrutvam nivrittihi. The very knowerhood is negated. And it being mithya, being non-separate, it will always shine. Why should not it shine? Let it shine. Even what is mithya will always shine. But in your head, it has falsified. It's a falsified. Once you know that there is no blue sky, it's not that it is going to disappear. It will next day appear for you. It will appear throughout your life. But it is falsified. It's just a cognitive change, nothing else. And therefore, pramatrutva nivrittihi. You are considering you are a pramata, you are an individual, you are a chidavasa, etc. Not chidavasa for. Chidavasa, now we are saying you are chidavasa. Abhasa chaitanya. Basically, this is all chidavasa, etc. is mithya. So what is left behind is, but then somebody has to reveal it. Self need not be revealed. Self is self-revealing. Self is self-existent. So there is no question of the knowing that self. What is jadam, what is inert has to be revealed by a conscious being. But if you are a consciousness, it is self-revealing. And therefore, there is no question of knowing the self. The very knowerhood is negated. And then the self shines. Self is shining all the time. But even though it is shining all the time, it is self-existent. You don't count it at all. You take yourself just as a chidavasa, you individual, etc. And that pramata, etc., knower, etc., that is negative. So, the self is left behind. So, anyatayaha pratidvandvi swayam. And swayam, word swayam is opposed to this, anyataya is opposed to this non-self or other than the self. And that is what? That Swayam is what? Kutastha Ishyatam. Well, let it be, may you accept it as a Kutastha, or it is called Kutastha. Similarly, Tvantayaha Pratiyogihi Eshaha Aham. This Aham, this Ahankara, this knower, this Chidabhasa is opposed to Tvantayaha, to second person you. I is opposed to you. And so we indicate by the index finger, right? And so index finger refers to, and they in Sanskritam they call, so right, you. So this index finger, it's called Tarjani. And Tarja Dhatu in Sanskritam means to threaten. And really it is like that. Whenever we want to threaten, we raise this index finger. They're called Tarjani. Anyway, so and this is Aham Arthaha. Aham, I, declines. And therefore I am not that. Because Bhagavan says you are avyayam, you are indeclinable. Okay? You don't decline. And aham declines. Tvam declines. Tat declines. What are the declinations? Yeah. Aham, avam, vayam, mam, ma, avam, now, and asman, naha. You know very well. Right? And therefore maya, etc., etc. Maya, mahyam, mat, mama, mai, all declensions. Tvam also. Tvam yuvam yuyam, tvam tva, yuvam vaha, yuvam now, yuvam vau, and then yushman vaha, etc., etc. Then tvaya, and etc., etc. So all declension, all seven vibhaktis, declension. So aham is, if I is declinable, that's not me. That's all. Hold on to the word, I am avyayaha. I am not declining. Right? Avyaya word used by Bhagavan also in Bhagavad Gita, and it is there in Upanishad also. Atma is avyayaha. Navyeti iti avyayaha. Navyeti, does not decline. There we use in another sense also. Does not decline. Remain all the time same. Nirvikaraha, kutasthaha. Does not decline, does not undergo any change. Anyway, so ahankara, so I, you, all this is ahankara, chidavasa, etc. Knower, and that ahankara is superimposed upon this swayam kutastha. Swamiji, you have used word swayam and kutastha together. This is just to refer. Don't think that way. And you will catch my, so you have used word swayam and kutastha together. But just to make you understand that the swayam is kutastha. Ahankara is superimposed upon kutastha, which is denoted by the word swayam. Okay? This is better. So, basically, so you people are very smart, I know. You are just watching what he is saying. And you should be like that. Anyway, so ahankara is superimposed this upon kutastha or chaitanya. Adhar chaitanya is superimposed upon kutastha chaitanyam, etc., etc. Or chidavasa is superimposed upon chaitanyam. I need not say. Chidavasa is all the time there as a non-separate from chaitanyam. Or aham is superimposed upon swayam, whatever you say. This is all, the all way we can say. So every individual is basically mixture of I, ahankara and the self. Every individual is a mixture of a chidavasa and chit. Every individual is a mixture of I and swayam. And they can go together. What is superimposed and what is real go together. Should not go together, but go together. They go together. By what is the reason? That we'll see. So I myself, you yourself, right? They all go together. He himself, she herself, etc. So if this is used, well, with knowledge, wonderful. If this is used with knowledge, that this is a mixture in which one is mithya and one is satyam. Well, I, the kutastha, is the reality. On me, this is just a role. I am assuming in a vyavahara, saying I and saying you, saying he, fine, no problem. So it's a mixture if you should know. But then this is a jivan mukti. But so Jnani also is a mixture of this chidavasa and kutastha. But he is aware of that it is a mixture. What is satyam, what is mithya, he knows. So karmani akarma yaf pashyet. While describing Jnani, Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, karmani akarma yaf pashyet, etc., etc. So chidavasa drishtya. So while actions are going on, he sees there is inaction also. Who? Jnani. Means what? Two things are there. While actions are going on, he sees that there is inaction also. So from the standpoint of a Chidabhasa, from standpoint of Ahankara, while there is a karma, there is action. From a Kutastha Drishtya, there is akarma, inaction. Clear now? It's a mixture and both the things are there and he is able to see both separately. But for Ajnani, after this, because of the Adhyasa, it's a mixture. It appears as a one. For Ajnani, it is one. And what is that? I am Ahankara. I am individual. That's a reality for him. For Jnani, it is not a reality. For Jnani says, well, both the things are there. Both are independent. Both are separate. I mean, both are different. I'm sorry, both are different. One is Mithya, that is non-separate from me, the Kutastha, that is Satyam. So, basically, problem is Kutastha, Chidabhasa, etc. They are intertwined and so we are confused. I mean, that is Ajnana. So, where is karma, where is akarma, vikarma, etc. Bhagavan says very beautifully in Bhagavad Gita, karmano hyapi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, and etc. So, akarmascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi, etc. He says beautifully. I mean, the confusion is there for a Ajnani. He takes himself to be a karta. Ahankara means a karta, etc. Well, Jnani does not see himself as does not take himself as a ahankara or a karta. He says, I am a karta, and at the same time, actions, etc. are going on at the level of ahankara. That is at the mithya level. So, basically, for Ajnani, this confusion between this karma, akarma, etc. is there. One does not know karma belongs to Chidabhasa, akarma belongs to Kutastha. Well, he doesn't know. From one angle, he says, I act. From other angle, there is no action. That is for Jnani. And for Ajnani, it is just a lump. So basically, it's a fused. That's how there is a confusion. Confusion means basically, it's a fusion of self and non-self. Chit and Chidabhasa. Kutastha Chaitanyam and Chidabhasa. Verse 51. Ahantva svatvayor bhede rupyate dantayor diva spashte vimohamapanna ha ekatvam pratipadvepedire. Here Vidyaranya says that the self and I are basically diagonally opposite in nature. One is limitless, other is limited. Chidabhasas are many, Chit is one. Chidabhasa has divisions. Right? I, you, he, all divisions. Chit has no division. Chidabhasa travels. Chit does not travel. Chidabhasa is mithya. Chit is satyam. So, like that. That's how in Kathopanishad very beautifully Yamaraja says, Rutam pibantau sukrutasya loke guham pravishto parame parardhe chaya tapo iva brahmavidaha vadanti, etc. Chaya tapo. So, these are like chaya and atapa. Atapa means light. Actually, atapa means a sunlight and chaya means a shadow, darkness, etc. So, just how they are opposite. Same way, well, here also they are opposite. Chit and Chidabhasa are diagonally opposite. Kutastha Chaitanyam and Ahankara are opposite. Sakshi and Ahankara are just opposite in nature. That way also you can say. Anyway, so this is how they are. I mean, normally they are not mixed up, but they are as though mixed up. They cannot be mixed up. Any Satyam and Mithya, you cannot make a mixture. If it is a mixture, Vedanta is not useful. Vedanta can never make Vedanta cannot make cannot separate the mixture physically. Vedanta can give you knowledge that they are different. In your mind, because of confusion, you feel they are together, they are mixed up. Actually, that's a job of a Maya. And therefore, it's due to the greatness of Maya, well, we mix up. That's a glory. And, this is how we see them together. Mixing up something which is unmixable. Satyam and Mithya of different order of reality, how can it mix up? That's how Shankaracharya ji in Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, while describing about adhyasa, superimposition, he talks also like that. Yushmad asmad pratyay gocharayo. And tamah prakashavad viruddha swabhavayo. Yushmad and asmad. Yushmad means you. Asmad means I. And well, definitely, here it wants to indicate anatma and atma, basically. Yushmad and I means here self, and Yushmad means other than the self. Well, they are mixed up together as such. But basically, they are diagonally opposite. One is Satyam, one is Mithya. Cannot be mixed together. So that's what he says here. Ahantva swatvayoho bhede chidabhasa. Swatvayoho and ahanta. Ahanta means this chidabhasa. Swatvam means self, means this kutastha. Bhede chidabhasa and that swayam, chidabhasa and kutastha chaitanyam have difference, very clear difference. Bhede spashte. The spashte word is there, you have to bring it together. Spashte bhede means they are clearly different. And how clearly different they are, he is giving an example. Rupyate idantayoho. So rupyata and idanta. Rupyate dantayoho. Iva means an example. Like this silver. So rupyata means silverness. And idanta, thisness. How they are mixed together. But there is no mixing. There is a mixing. You say this is silver. There you have mixed up two things together which cannot be mixed up. Thisness refers to the shell, and rupyata means silverness. The shell and silver, one is satyam, other is mithya, right? One is just a superimposition. They cannot go together, but your expression itself reveals two things are mixed together. That's what we call superimposition. That's what we call superimposition of what? On what? Well, silver is superimposed upon shell. So that indicates, adhyasa indicates satyadrute mithunikara. So they cannot be mixed together, but they are as though mixed. As though mixed. So silver and shell basically are mithya, they cannot be mixed up. Like waker's money. We can give another example. Waker's money and dreamer's money can be brought together, and I can buy a big mansion in California. California is a little costly, I heard like that. And so let us, waker's money, it's a less money, I can't buy, no problem. In a dream he got a lot of money. And then after waking up he says, well, now I have a lot of money, I can buy a big mansion in California. So cannot be mixed up together. One is satyam, one is mithya, can never be mixed up together. But Swamiji, it appears that they are there. That's how we call. This is called anirvachaniyam. This is anirvachaniyam, which are mixed up, which cannot be mixed up. Which cannot be mixed up. Then how, the things which cannot be mixed up, how they are mixed? They are not mixed. They are mixed in your head. They are mixed in the head. It's simply Brahma. That's how Vedanta works. Vedanta works where there is an error. Vedanta cannot work where there is a physically things mixed up together. You have to do action. Jnanam cannot work. Only action can work. You have to separate physically. If physically they are mixed together, then Jnanam has no role to play. Jnanam can tell that they are mixed together, right? But you have to, if you want to separate them, you have to act. But where they are not mixed up, and they cannot be mixed up because of satyam and mithya, then, well, it's in your understanding, it's in your head that they are mixed up. Then Jnanam works and removes the error that both are separate. One is satyam, other is mithya. Brahma satyam, jagat mithya. Or atma satyam, jagat mithya, whatever, etc. And therefore, satya mithya things can never go together. They go together in a head. In head. It's just an error. And where there is error, knowledge alone will work. Their action will not work. Because they are not basically mixed up. And therefore, their knowledge alone will work. If something is mixed together physically, you have to separate them, then action alone work. Knowledge cannot work. Knowledge has a role to say that both things are mixed. That much role is there. Ultimately, if you want to if you want to separate them, you have to act. That's how we say, Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam. We say by knowledge alone you will be free, because you are already free. You are superimposing this Chidabhasa upon yourself, and the reality of the Chit is transferred to the Chidabhasa, and you say you are as an individual, that's your reality. Well, that's not a reality. That's not a reality. And therefore, just a Viveka will work. Just a Viveka will work, that I am basically free from all these superimpositions of Chidabhasa, etc. I am not an individual, etc. I am not a Karta, Bhokta, etc. I am not a Ahankara. The very I notion is superimposed upon myself. I am basically free from even the I notion, Ahankara also, etc. So basically, this is how, and because one is Satyam, another is Mithya, what is superimposed is Mithya, and so, and it indicates, that is even, that is also, understood in examples also, like this is silver, etc. There also basically you have, knowledge alone will work. You have not to separate the silver and shell. Let me separate, because they are mixed up together. It won't work. There is only shell. In your head there is a silver. That has to go. Knowledge alone will work. This is Mahavakya. That this is this is shell. That is Mahavakya. That's all. The silverness which is superimposed by you in your head has to go. That's only knowledge, will work. The sentence will work. So, basically, so we mix up, and so like this is silver, etc. There, this part is a Satyam, silver which is Mithya-amsha, and Bhedam Spashte. Satyam and Mithya are different. So, even though they are diagonally opposite, Vede Spashte, Api, still, Moham Apannaha, well, people because of delusion, because of a power of the Maya, well, regarding Vyavarika Satyam and Pratibhasik Satyam, they combine together. Silver is a Pratibhasika Satyam, while thisness which belongs to shell is a Vyavarika Satyam, and basically they are mixed up together. And in our case, that's a confusion, of course. Moham means confusion. And in our case also there is a confusion where Vyavarika Satyam and Paramarthika Satyam as though are mixed up together. Like Chidabhasa, etc. Vyavarikam, Ahankara is a Vyavarikam, and Kutastha, which is Paramarthika Satyam, they are as though mixed up. So in example and in our original, the difference is this. In example of a shell, silver, etc., Vyavarika Satyam, Pratibhasika Satyam are mixed up. In our case, in original case I am saying. Anyway, so Paramarthika Satyam, Kutastha and Chidabhasa, that is Vyavarika Satyam, are mixed up. Could you follow that? So basically these two things are, this is just a difference between an example and our case. So two orders of, in two orders of reality there is a confusion, and so basically that mixture has to be separated with a discrimination, because they are not as though mixed up. They are not mixed up in reality. So even though they are distinct, we mix up this Chit and Chidabhasa, and and that's how a Adhyasa arises. Same mistake is there for Ishvara also. Right now we are discussing with an individual that it's a mixture, and one is Satyamsha, one is a Mithya-amsha, and Mithya-amsha has to be negated, understood as a Mithya, and same way it can be with a Tatpada also, but that will be dealt later. Anyway. So, Ekatvam Pratipedire. So, because of this confusion, well, they are understood. Pratipedire. Prati plus Pad Dhatu is there. And Pratipedire is a past tense actually. And it's a Atmanepada root, Prati plus Pad, and it is Bahuvachana. So, you will come across a word called Pratipatti. Prati plus Pad. From there is a word they have made, in Sanskritam there is a word called Pratipatti. Pratipatti means Jnana. They means here understood. They are understood it as a one. Even though they are separate, even though Satyam and Mithya are really separate, diagonally opposite, Chit and Chidabhasa cannot be one at all. Chit is all pervading, Chidabhasa is limited. Chit is Satyam, Chidabhasa is Mithya. Chidabhasa has a plurality, Chit has no plurality at all. Chit is one. Chidabhasa has all divisions. Chidabhasa has all attributes. Chit is free from all attributes. So many differences, so many. So they are diagonally opposites. That's how they say Bede Spashte. Spashta Bheda. Very diagonally opposite are there, but ekatvam pratipedire. They are understood as one due to glory of Mrs. Brahman. So Vede Spashte is a Sati Saptami. Vede Spashte Sati. Even though they are diagonally opposite, but still they are understood as a one. What they? Chit and Chidabhasa. Kutastha and this Ahankara, etc. are understood as a one. Superimposed. The Kutastha, Chidabhasa is superimposed upon Kutastha. Verse 52. Oh, I'm sorry. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.